It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for being here. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. Families gathered at Marsh Bank Park yesterday for the first Kids Commotion concert of the summer, featuring live music, superheroes, and tons of family fun. Civic Center TV was on site to capture the energy as the West Bloomfield community kicked off the season with entertainment, inflatables, and special guests.
The music has made its way right back here to Marshbank Park for another exciting season of the Kids Commotion concerts. 3 fun-filled and kid-friendly concerts that take place right here at Marshbank Park for every family in Greater West Bloomfield to enjoy. And as you can tell from the excitement behind me, the fun has only gotten started for this season.
This was actually a surprise. We had just come to play on the playground and walk around the park and the water, and this was here, so it was an amazing surprise. It's awesome. Yeah, my 4-year-old is very happy. He's having a lot of fun.
It was a really nice day. I have an almost 2.5-year-old, so she's got lots of energy, and this is a great way to just burn it off before bedtime. Oh, I think it's great. I think all parents know the before bedtime energy rush, and I think this is awesome. Then they go home, they crash, they get to have fun. You have fun while you're here with your kids. I love it.
What do you think about the music that's performed here?
Oh, I think it's great. They were all her favorite songs. All songs that we know, all songs that we dance to at home and play while we're playing and stuff, so she loved it.
I mean, you're looking everywhere. You're just seeing smiles, you're just seeing positivity and just appreciation for so many things here in Greater West Bloomfield, wouldn't you say?
That's the truth. That's the truth. These parks does a great job of entertaining people and bringing in fun for kids and adults. It is so much fun to watch these kids have their little mosh pit up here when they really get going. It's fun.
I see lots of smiles, lots of happy kids, lots of parents that look happy. There's even grandparents. I see a lot of families coming together and having fun.
How great is it for West Bloomfield Parks to be providing a lot of these opportunities for young families in West Bloomfield?
I think it's really great, and I think it's really great to bring awareness to the park, because honestly, before today, I've never been to this park. So we'll definitely come back to play on the park and walk the trails and stuff. It's a beautiful park.
Last question. What would you say is just the biggest thing everybody takes away from here once everything is said and done?
That it's a good family event for all the children and the residents of West Bloomfield, and they should come out and enjoy it. If you have young kids, they love this stuff. So
these kids have certainly caused a commotion tonight, and that's only going to get louder as the season goes on. A big thank you to West Bloomfield Parks for everything they do for the community as the music continues to play all throughout Greater West Bloomfield. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
Thank you, Jake. A fantastic start to a summer full of fun at Marshbank Park. Please don't forget, put it on your calendar. The next Kids Commotion concert is coming up on June 12th. For more details, visit WB Parks online at wbparks.org or follow them on social media, Facebook specifically at WB Parks. For the second consecutive year, the varsity girls tennis team is headed to the Michigan State Tennis Tournament. The team earned a strong second-place finish behind Bloomfield Hills with 20 points. If you're looking on Civic Center TV, you can see their smiling faces of our local champions. That's what we're calling them. 6 flights made it to the finals, including all of the singles players. A very special shout-out to Elise Livadotti for an impressive battle in a tough third-set match against Bloomfield Hills in the finals. Our lovely Lady Lakers wrapped up their season with a 12-4 record and 2 tournament wins. The next stop, Grand Rapids, in 2 weeks for the state tournament. We just want to take this time out to say congratulations and go Lakers. The Spirit of Grace Church Spring Community Yard Sale is happening Saturday, May 31st, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now, tables are $15 each, or you can only pay $10 if you bring your own table. But just to let you know, tables are provided while supplies last. You can also donate gently used items to the church sale table to support some of their community outreach efforts. However, they are asking no clothing donations, please. They are not accepting clothing donations. You can come hunt for some of these treasures that you may find, or enjoy some delicious food from the Taco Hub food truck, and grab some sweet treats and drinks from our talented community bakers right here in Greater West Bloomfield. If you want to sign up, go ahead and give the church a call. Phone number 248-338-3505. That's 248-338-3505, or email them at office@spiritofgrace.church. Even in a community as safe as West Bloomfield, it's always smart to be prepared and be aware as well. Civic Center TV actually stopped by True Martial Arts at Orchard Mall to explore their adult self-defense classes and why people are joining for more than just safety. From boosting confidence and fitness to team building, these classes are packed with benefits.
Well, I mean, it is a safe community, but you do travel all over, and even in safe communities, things do happen, and it's good to be prepared, especially as a parent. You just never know what's going to happen, and it gives you a sense of confidence. You can just face whatever is going to happen.
What could be more important than knowing how to defend yourself, right? We talk about how martial arts builds confidence in people, and there's a certain brand of confidence that's built through self-defense training, knowing that you can walk through life and that even if you don't have all the tools to defend yourself, that you have some.
Although the classes were meant to teach individuals how to protect themselves, current students and members tell us how it can be a great team-building exercise as well.
It's so much fun. It really is. And you get to meet and work with new partners on a daily basis. And we get the opportunity to explore how each other works and our technique and what we're good at, what we're bad at. And as a result of all of that, it helps to build team building 100% across the line. And our instructor team here is amazing.
Big part of this is like sort of common bond through like sacrifice. So you come in, everybody's working to their limit, sweating, they can't go any further. Other people around you are in the same situation. So coming through that together on the other side, like you just have that natural bond because you know that they went through the same thing you went through and kind of pulled each other through it.
Besides the combat and camaraderie, Greater West Bloomfield residents take away more than just the skills for self-defense at True Martial Arts.
I am definitely in much better condition than I was before I started. I feel like I'm a lot stronger. I'm a lot more confident in myself and my ability, and it does help keep me in very good shape for things outside of class, just taking care of your home or your parents or your children.
Yes, and once again, as the reports are saying, as the weather starts to heat up, crime starts to increase as well. So whether it's for self-protection, stress relief, or a unique way to connect with others, True Martial Arts adult self-defense classes are delivering real-world skills and results. We'll continuously keep you updated with more resources in our Greater West Bloomfield area. School nurses serve as the first line of defense in ensuring student health and safety during the school day, managing injuries, illnesses, and chronic health conditions like asthma or even diabetes. So joining me right here on the Splash Live is school health nurse consultant for Oakland Schools, Becky Rosbolt. Thank you for being here, Becky.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We appreciate that first and foremost. You providing a little bit more insight and perspective. Now, I just want to get straight into it. As a school health nurse consultant, how do you support Oakland County's 28 school districts?
So a couple of ways. With the school districts that have school and district nurses, I really provide support to them. Support, mentorship, guidance, educational opportunities. We have monthly meetings where we meet as a group to collaborate and have guest speakers that provide resources and educational opportunities. I have a weekly newsletter of educational offerings for them. And in our districts that don't have school nurses, I'm able to provide support, consultation, and provide that education directly to our staff at the school.
Good, okay. And I would imagine they need that support, they utilize that support, and it all helps with everyone, I mean, their end user as well. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe, you cover a lot of different school districts, but, you don't have too much experience in this position specifically, but I do want to ask, what are some of the most common health challenges you're seeing amongst students across Oakland County, including Greater West Bloomfield?
Sure. I think this translates from district to county to state to country. We have what's called the Big Four, and you mentioned a couple of them already, but asthma, food allergies, diabetes, and seizures are really our most common health conditions we see in the schools. And staff really needs to be trained on those conditions, how to respond in an emergency, and how to give rescue meds if they're needed.
Oh, okay. Interesting to know, first and foremost. A lot of different things. I'm going to be honest with you. I had no idea diabetes was even a problem in the schools amongst the youth, but that's interesting to know. Now, what educational support do you provide to these local districts as well? Education being a very important resource as well.
Of course. And, I can provide many different trainings. First and foremost, every school really needs medication administration training because we give medications on a daily basis to our students, or just giving those rescue medications. In addition, I can provide MERT team training, which is a medical event response team. And that sort of goes a level above CPR, first aid, AED, and it goes into those Big Four, and they get hands-on training on how to administer the meds, along with bleeding control and naloxone or Narcan training. I can provide assistance with cardiac drills that the schools want to conduct to sort of practice through a scenario, and I can provide guidance, feedback and debrief afterward with them, let them know where they did well and where they need some more help. And then, of course, any of those individual conditions, the Big Four, things like cancer, sickle cell anemia, cystic fibrosis, migraines, any of those conditions I'm able to help provide training for the staff for.
Good. Give them a little bit more help and be that extra source that they need if they are, curious about how to address certain things as well. Love to hear that. And want to dig a little bit more into that as well. But with me right here live on The Splash, by the way, school health nurse consultant for Oakland Schools, Becky Rosbolt, just talking about the role of a nurse and nurse consultant in our local schools as well. Now, I just want to reiterate the difference, right? Nurse and a nurse consultant. The nurse is actually there doing the work. You're the consultant. You're there, like I said, resource and their person of information. So what does being a school health nurse consultant mean to you personally and professionally?
Well, I'll tell you, school nursing itself is my life's passion. I was a pediatric nurse at Children's Hospital in Michigan for 17 years, came over to school nursing about 11 years ago, and seeing that full circle moments of, our kids in the hospital that were so sick are now in their schools, learning and socializing with friends. It really is heartwarming to see that. I'm fascinated by that connection between health and academic success. I really put everything into my work, and I reap the benefits with families and making a difference in kids' lives. As the school health nurse consultant, I get to sort of broaden that out to a much higher level at the county, where I'm able to, again, provide the supports to our district nurses and our schools that don't have nurses.
Yeah, it makes sense now that you put it out there, because when you're a single school nurse working, you're pretty much focused on the micro level. But in your position, I would imagine it's more of a macro level. Like you said, you're just doing it on a bigger scale type of situation. So it's really making a bigger impact than what you were doing before, and we appreciate that as well. Now, we talk about the physical ailments and things that the children or the youth may come to the nurse about. But what about the mental? What role do school nurses play in addressing the mental health concerns among students?
Sure. School nurses have extensive training in mental health, and really them working together in an interdisciplinary team with our school social workers, our school counselors, our psychologists, our behavioral interventionists really helps round out the care for the students and provide the most support.
And I would imagine, well, let me not imagine. Can you tell me how this has evolved in recent years? Because just from my recollection, mental health just in general as a phrase or a concept is fairly new, relatively new within the last maybe 10, possibly 15 years. So how has the mental health concerns or addressing it evolved over the last few years?
You know, I really think COVID made a big impact with kids being at home, not able to socialize. And then, of course, social media plays a big role, too. You know, that part can be helpful and harmful, right? We see social media addiction, social media bullying, things like that. So really looking at that, we are seeing an uptick of mental health issues in our schools.
Interesting. So I would imagine that provide, or that would entail more training is needed, more perspective, more research, and things of that nature as we continue to move forward. So thank you again for providing that. One thing you mentioned, I want to touch on, if you don't mind, the COVID thing. That's still just a few years removed, and we still have some kids that's kind of like coming through that or whatever the case may be. So can you just talk about how school nurses help in those large, impactful health situations like dealing with COVID, post-COVID or whatever?
Sure. I mean, with COVID or any other communicable disease, we really provide a lot of guidance to the school on, you know, what symptoms and situations do students need to stay home and take time and recover, and when it's safe for them to return to the school community. We really collaborate closely with Oakland County Health Division on that guidance and getting direction from them, you know, with any communicable disease issues.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine. And I mean, that was the worst case scenario with COVID and everything, right? But it still teaches us a lesson on how to prepare, how to respond, and how to, you know, carry about, you know, different methods and procedures for those type of situations on different scales as well. So thank you again for that. With me right here live on the Splash, by the way, school health nurse consultant for Oakland Schools, Becky Ross-Bolt, just talking about the role of the school nurses and the importance of them as well. Don't want to hold you up too much longer, just a few things to inquire about. You talked about families as well, working with families. So how do you collaborate with local West Bloomfield or Oakland County families and educators to ensure that our students are receiving the care and support they need?
Again, in my role as that nurse consultant, I'm really going to be able to provide support, consultation to schools, especially with our students with chronic health conditions, provide education and training to the school staff to help support those students throughout the day, and be able to provide resources for them in the community that they may need.
Good. And lastly, just want to ask you if there's a message that you want to get out to West Bloomfield parents and students, or just Oakland County parents and students, for them to better understand the role and value of school nurses.
For sure. Often school nurses aren't really seen on the forefront. We do have some schools that have one school nurse, but the majority of Michigan districts have one nurse for multiple buildings. So they're really more behind the scenes providing support to the staff. We work through a whole child lens. So we look at the child through a lens of cognitive, emotional, behavioral, mental, and social needs. So we work with that interdisciplinary team to really remove barriers and help that child reach their full academic potential. We develop plans of care to help with our kids with chronic illness throughout the school day. We train the staff to deliver that care. We collaborate with school staff in academic accommodation meetings like 504 plans for our kids in general education, and then individualized education plans for our students that need a little more academic support. We assist with disaster planning, threat assessments, compliance, mental health, as you mentioned, and of course that communicable disease component where we really provide guidance to the school staff and work collaboratively with the health division.
Sounds like you all are ready and prepared for any and everything, and that's what we appreciate you all for. And thank you again for your time and your information. Once again, school health nurse consultant for Oakland Schools, Becky Ross-Bolt. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Continuously highlighting great people in our community, making a difference and making an impact, I should say, for our future and our youth right here in our community. Relief Michigan's Big Tree Hunt is officially running now through August of 2025, inviting participants of all ages to locate and measure Michigan's largest trees. Giving us more details on this contest from Relief Michigan, Project Forester, Lindsay Lights joins us right here on the Splash Live. How you doing, Lindsay?
I'm so happy to be here. How are you?
I'm doing just good. I'm doing just great. Now, we spoke last year about this as well, so I want to kind of briefly talk about that and then just come up to date now. So can you just tell us, how has the Greater West Bloomfield community, our local community, contributed to the Michigan Big Tree Hunt?
Over the years of the contest, it started in 1994, there have been nominations that come from the West Bloomfield and the area around there. In the whole county, Oakland County's always had great participation. One really interesting thing I found looking through the data is that there's people who live in West Bloomfield, but they travel and they go and enter a tree. One I saw was all the way in Ottawa County.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if there's any connection, but has that had any impact on the local conservation efforts?
I think it directly gets people to look outside and care about them. So this project is really that first piece. It's an awareness piece. It's, oh, wow, I never noticed this giant tree on the block, but wow, that's awesome. And I want to take care of my tree so it can get that big.
Yes. Nice. I want to continue to dig a little bit more into this contest and a little bit more as well while we do have you on the program. But besides that, what initiatives has Relief Michigan undertaken to educate some residents of not only just Greater West Bloomfield, but of Michigan about the importance of tree conservation through the Big Tree Hunt?
I'm so happy you asked that. Relief Michigan does a couple different avenues other than the Big Tree Hunt.
Okay.
We do community tree plantings and community presentations. So we planted at Johnson Nature Center last year, and in there we put a sugar bush. So we planted 25 sugar maple trees that will grow up, and eventually they will produce sugar, that will produce the sap that makes maple syrup. And that'll be a way to engage students and engage people who want to care about the trees and get some hands-on activities about that. We also do presentations. So in the past, we've done a planting and maintenance presentation. That one was in 2011. Our organization has been around since 1988, doing this across the state. We also came and talked about pruning in 2023. So we do these presentations. They're normally for homeowners directly. They're about a 7 p.m. time at the local library. And anybody who's interested in trees can come and get easy information. They can go back and take care of their trees.
Nice. Okay. Look at that. So you are doing a lot to educate people, not just make this a contest, but let people know the purpose behind it and, the tree conservation and things of that nature. So literally things of that nature. I'm in my own head sometimes. But okay, good to know that. Now, very briefly, are there any groups from West Bloomfield or Greater West Bloomfield or even schools that have come together to participate in the Big Tree Hunt by any chance?
The wild ones of Oakland County, they are a group who they like to plant a lot of native. They like to get seeds, good seed source, and we've done presentations with them. Nice. And we really want to talk to the schools now even more. We want to get the kids out there.
No, I agree. Please get them out there. Get them out of school, away from the tablets, the devices. I mean, those are cool every now and then, but outside, I'm always with that as well. With me right here live on the Splash, by the way, from Relief Michigan, we have Project Forester, Lindsay Lights, just talking about the overall Big Tree Hunt and some of the difference that Greater West Bloomfield residents have made in this contest as well. Now, just continuing on, any notable record-breaking trees that's been discovered in West Bloomfield maybe, or even an area close to us?
Well, I know there's a lot of really special trees there, and that's why it's so important to get this message out to you guys. But none off the top of my head. There are state champions in Oakland County, but we're still looking for a huge one at one of those one of those forests that hasn't been touched for a while, somewhere people haven't been able to go in and cut down, somewhere that's been preserved, maybe somewhere like Bloomer Park. We're still looking for the huge one.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I can't wait to see it too. I can't wait to see that too and to see exactly where it is so we can just make it like a big tourist spot as well. Now, in what ways does participating in this big tree hunt benefit some local communities even beyond the environmental awareness aspect?
That's a great question. Just getting outside and into nature, just having our feet on the ground and looking up at trees, that is instantly going to make people feel better. And then that impact multiplies when they enter a tree to the contest. We can share about it as the big tree of the week and just excite people and inspire them to get out, get outside. It's exercise. It's good for your mental health. You can get some really good fresh air, get some nice deep breaths, which in turn will give you some great sleep.
Yeah.
So we know about those traditional benefits of trees, but hopefully that's a little bit of the extra stuff.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, get outside and enjoy, especially now that the summer's here. If looking out the window and seeing the sun bright and outside warm doesn't get you outside, I don't know what does. But this is another great reason to do so as well. Now, on the planning and producing side of this entire contest, it's not just all smooth sailing, right? So let's talk about the challenges. What challenges have you faced in promoting this big tree hunt, even specifically in suburban areas like Greater West Bloomfield?
Yes, there's so many people there, and our thing is getting the word out. So we try to get it out with paper entry forms and try to get into the libraries. Some way we've kind of worked with that challenge is we went to the statewide library conference to get in direct communication with the librarians. And there we even had a sign-up sheet for presentations, and about 15 different libraries signed up and asked us to come back to their communities.
Interesting. Okay, so yeah, I feel like once people get the word out, they know about it, then it's like, oh, okay, I didn't even know that was going on. Then they gain interest, and then word of mouth spreads like anything else. So I completely get that as well.
It's an easy contest to enter. We only go by circumference, so it's right the distance around the trunk of the tree where you go up to it and hug it. So it's really easy for anybody to join.
Yeah, so and that was going to be my next question. How does the contest work? Tell people how they can enter and that type of thing. So you just gave a little bit more. Can you please give the full context?
Absolutely. So on our website, bigtreehunt.com, BIGTREEHUNT.com, there is all the information you're going to need and an online entry form with diagrams. But what we're looking for is people to go out, pick the biggest tree they know, or even go out to the woods and hunt for the biggest tree they know, and take the circumference measurement. That's the distance all the way around the trunk of the tree. You measure that, take a couple pictures of the tree, and then send that back to us via bigtreehunt.com. We pick winners in different categories. So there's a winner per county. We identify the biggest tree in Oakland County. Right now, you guys are at 11 nominations. That's towards the top, but we could take some more.
Okay.
And it's up from the last time you and I talked on the show. And so we award trees the biggest in each county. We do the biggest white pine in the state. We also do the biggest tree entered in different age groups. So there's multiple ways to win. There's lots of ways to get your special tree admired and recognized.
Nice. Find your special tree and send it in. It could be the most special tree in the state of Michigan. With that being said, Lindsay, thank you so much. Any upcoming events, programs planned for our local communities to further engage the community in tree conservation and education by any chance?
There are tree plantings in the surrounding counties coming up and some presentations, but right now we're still looking to do plantings. There's tree planting application at our website, and there's presentation applications at our website. So we want to come talk to everybody about trees, whether we're getting our hands on the trees or we're coming in talking in a presentation format.
That's right. That's right. Thank you again for your information, your time, and for promoting something like this right here in our Greater West Bloomfield community. Once again, from Relief, Michigan, Project Forester, Lindsay Lights. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, get outside, find the nearest tree, wrap your arms around it and give it a nice big hug. That's outside, ladies and gentlemen. Find out more about the Big Tree Hunt on their website, bigtreehunt.com, for more information regarding that. The weather is warm and the water is ready. So if you have any or should have ever considered being a professional stand-up paddleboard instructor, there's an opportunity for you. And we actually spoke with Luna Moon SUP instructor and owner, Misty Markham, to discuss more. The owner of Luna Moon SUP, stand-up paddleboard, Misty Markham. How you doing, Misty?
Good. Thanks for having me, Kevin.
Yeah, you like that energy in that intro. I see that right there. So I see that we have this certification class. I want to talk about that, but before we do, let's add some context, right? So many beautiful lakes right here in our Greater West Bloomfield area. I want you to tell us what makes our community a special place for people to learn and just practice paddleboarding safety.
Absolutely, because there are so many lakes and a ton of places to go and enjoy them, including our even bigger Great Lakes. And, you know, what's more important than knowing what to do in an emergency situation, or just to be able to teach like your other friends and that kind of thing. The training is pretty intense, I will say, even if you decide to do just the flat water one portion of it. And, there's anything can happen at any moment, right? And we're just trying to, even if you weren't interested in getting a full certification certificate, let's say, that weekend I am providing at least the fundamentals for people to join, and that may mean that they already have some paddle experience being out on our waters, but want to take it a little bit further and making sure that they're doing it safely and wisely.
Oh yeah, anytime we're around water, we want safety first and foremost, and then the fun can come after that. So, okay, so that sounds good. So let's get into your inspiration, right? What inspired you to become a professional stand-up paddle association certified instructor?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And, you know, I've always loved the water. I've been a water kid my whole life, but, you know, with safety, with all the fun, just like you said, not to take all the fun out of it, there's still, you know, a water safety portion of it. And the manual is pretty thick. It's an intense book. So not only are you learning to perfect your paddle or to do it correctly and then to teach others as well, back to the water safety portion, just rescue techniques, learning hands-on, getting real-time feedback and being able to practice on one another. It's pretty vital, and it's what a great way to do it in the summer when it starts to get pretty hot. Last year was pretty warm, and we were happily to get in the water and start practicing those techniques on each other.
There you go. Okay. So that kind of leads me into my next inquiry. Why did you decide to want to teach others how to be instructors like yourself?
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny because we do so much stuff online now. And even back when I was doing my own research as well, there were some YouTube videos starting to come out so that you could get an idea. I searched a lot of times for someone or anybody to answer a lot of questions about even just gear. Do I have the right board? Am I setting this up right? Maybe my paddle even, that kind of thing. And you can only learn so much online. And when I did my research and I found where I wanted to go, I had to go all the way to San Diego with a board, a GoPro, and a notebook. And, you know, I came home with a ton of information, some great contacts of people who wanted to be in the sport just as much as I did. And it's just having respect for the sport and just learning, you know, more intensely.
There it is. So bringing more people into, giving away the secret sauce, essentially, but we're doing it for a great cause. I love that. With me right here live on The Splash, by the way, owner of Luna Moon SUP, stand-up paddleboarding, Misty Markham, talking about her new certification classes for you to be a professional stand-up paddle association certified trainer right here in our Greater West Bloomfield waters, of course. So let's talk about the training, of course. So you talked about the seriousness of the safety. You talked about how thick the book is. That seems very, very serious, but it is necessary. So how do you balance the training, the fun part of the training, paddleboarding, with the water safety and emergency preparedness?
Absolutely. Like I was saying about having that serious part of it, but taking it on the water and just practicing on each other and having fun with it. You know, I've watched other videos as well where they're doing the same training. There's a flip technique, so you get in the water and you flip the board. And you're trying to get maybe the victim back on. Maybe they're conscious or unconscious, and it does become a little fun while you're still practicing those serious techniques. You may discover some things, you know, like, oh, wow, my watch got in the way while I was trying to do the flip rescue, because you're reaching for each other's wrist, right? The other thing, too, is just even setting up your gear and the paddle, like I said, holding it and then the proper technique and, you know, being 101 in front of people, you know, you still have fun with that no matter what. You know, you bring up a scenario like, okay, what if? Right? And you look out at the water and you try to paint a little picture of maybe a little wind coming from this direction. Now we watched over there and the wind changed. So what are we going to do? And how do we prepare for those types of scenarios on the water?
Okay. Yeah. It's being alert to your environment. Like you say, if everything is good and steady and we're checking everything out and it works, then go ahead and have your fun. But essentially, like you said, just be aware of your environment and all the different situations that could factor into water safety and emergency preparedness. So great for the context right there. I want you to explain this. If I'm not mistaken, there's 2 different certifications or classes that you're doing. You're doing the Flatwater 1 and then the yoga, SUP yoga. Can you talk about this? Am I getting that correct?
Yeah, exactly. Flatwater 1 technically is going to be all of those things I just mentioned about learning the gear, all the way down to holding your paddle, proper technique, how to teach others, and then the water safety part and practicing on each other. Once we kind of have all that down and you want to take it a little bit further, the sub yoga portion is like part 2, essentially. You still have to have some requirements in there as well, like your 200-hour training on land and just being able to lead each other with poses, because now we're adding the water element. And again, back to our fun part where we, you know, teach someone these poses and technique on a paddleboard that's wobbly in the water. And so yeah, it is a part 2, like I said.
Oh my goodness. When I saw that, I said, am I reading this right? We're talking about yoga on a paddleboard in the middle of the lake. Can you just talk about that experience in general for people that may have done it, like doing it for the first time? What is that like? Yoga on a paddleboard on a lake.
It is so much fun. I mean, really, you've just taken away the 4 walls of being like in a studio. The boards I have they are pretty, they're inflatables. They sit pretty high off the water, probably about 3.5 inches off the water. So you're not sitting right in it. But it is a soft space for your knees and hands, and you know, and in my scenario, I have a pod, so they all connect around this pod, and we become this floating studio. And it's nice because when what is a little more challenging on the water, you know, it seems easy on land, and people applaud each other and say that was great, you know. And then you'll have somebody else who wants to take it a little bit further and go into headstands. And it's all just situational. It's open for any age, any type, you know, as long as you just have an open mind about it.
Ooh, now if somebody's doing a headstand on a paddleboard in water, you are way too advanced for me, and I love to see it, to be honest with you. With me right here live on the Splash, by the way, owner of Luna Moon, stand-up paddleboarding. We have Misty Markham talking about her new certification classes for flat water training and stand-up paddle yoga training as well. Very, very interesting courses and activities in general. Can we just talk about, I guess, the why someone should sign up for this? What ways do you see this training benefiting the Greater West Bloomfield community, either from a wellness or a small business perspective?
Yes. Now, the certification itself, I mean, that's going to be a more intense type of person, maybe, that would want to know all the details, every single bit of it. And then, of course, yoga is going a little bit further. You might want to do maybe flat water 1 first before you did yoga. And you may just want to stick with flat water 1, and that's just as fine. But this year, I am offering on Saturday just a portion for people who want to be more like in the fundamentals. So maybe it's not a full certification, that's a lot of commitment and time, I understand, and you may want to ease into that. So this is like a little bit of a level where you're getting a little bit of a taste. And like I said, not to receive a paper certification or anything like that, but to show up and hey, be with the trainees and see what it's like, and still walk away with a piece of knowledge on having a more of a proper paddle technique, water safety, obviously another issue, and then just maybe to teach like some of the, because we live around so many lakes, teach their neighbors or friends or their family that wanted to try it, but are still having a lot of trouble and they're not really sure why. I mean, you'd be surprised how many people can just stand on it backwards and they didn't realize they're on it backwards.
Right? That would be me right there. I don't even know which way it is. That's interesting. Okay, I don't want to hold you up too much more, Misty. I appreciate the time. Lastly, any advice for someone watching or listening who may be interested in the SUP instructing, but maybe not even 100% sure? What would you tell them?
I would say reach out to me. I mean, I have a lot of experience, a lot of resources, and it just, a simple call, visit my website, lunamoonsupyoga.com, and we can talk about certain things. Everybody is at different levels and have different questions and needs, so I just try to be flexible.
Yeah, be flexible and be open-minded as well. And we appreciate you. Can't wait for the weather to officially break so we can get out there on that water. Once again, owner of Luna Moon, stand-up paddleboarding, Misty Markham, thank you again.
Thank you. I truly appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, and with a high of 82 degrees and sunny today, I think the weather has broke, at least for the day at least. To keep up with Misty's classes and more, visit her on Facebook at Luna Moon, SUP, or on her website, lunamoonsupyoga.com. The West Bloomfield Police Department is partnering with Auburn Hills, Birmingham, Rochester, and Bloomfield Township police departments to offer a regional youth police academy open to high school students who live, attend school, or have a parent working or studying in any of the participating communities. This actually sounds like a pretty nice program, but I'm 75 years old and not in high school, so I don't know. So with me on the Splash Live is West Bloomfield Police Department's Community Relations Officer, Zena Daly. Thank you for being here, Officer Daly.
Thank you for having me. How are you today?
I'm doing just well. And finding out about this program, I'm like, where was this when I was in school? Can you tell us what inspired the West Bloomfield Police Department to partner with the Regional Police Academy to form this?
So this is our first time doing it. I've been kind of throwing it around since August, trying to create some kind of youth academy. I wasn't sure where to start.
Right.
I was approached by Bloomfield Township, who said they already have something in place, and they've been doing it with the departments that you mentioned, Auburn Hills, Birmingham, Rochester, and the Bloomfield Township Fire Department as well.
Okay.
So they're like, hey, why don't you jump on board and see what it's all about, see if we can get some more kids and some West Bloomfield kids, which would be amazing, and kind of grow this youth academy.
I love that. So with you being a community relations officer as well, how do you feel like this program reflects the department's community priorities?
So I love it because it's an outreach opportunity where we can promote teamwork and leadership skills. These kids will be making new friends, getting a brief overview of what police officers do on a daily basis.
Yeah, and that's just one of the many benefits, and we're going to explore that a little bit more. So with all of that being said, specifically focusing on our communities, we got a bunch of different communities that's involved, but how do you see this program benefiting West Bloomfield students specifically?
So it's really nice because it's not just if you just live in West Bloomfield.
Right.
Do you go to school here? Do your parents work in the township, for the township? All those kids can come together from different backgrounds, and kind of it'll really bring it'll be very diverse is what I'm hoping for, right? We can get different nationalities, different ethnicities, different demographics, where you're living, whether you're in West Bloomfield or not. You'll have a good gauge and a good way to create more friends and, meet different people, learn different things, learn about different people.
Right, right. And there's a few different things about this program that I want to break down. So I want to kind of make sure we segment this, but this is what I want to ask. What impact do you think this program is going to have on the youth's view of law enforcement nowadays?
Well, my hope is that they'll see the positive aspect of it and see that sometimes decisions are not easy to make quickly.
Yeah.
When you're in a situation that you have to make quick decisions, and that's just not an easy thing to do. It'll give them an idea. And I hope that these kids from 14 to 18, still in school, that when they do see the police officer and we have to respond to something, they will understand the questions we're asking or what we're asking them to do. They'll understand what they need to do. It'll make more sense to them, I think. Yeah. So they'll go with the program. They'll be able to do what we're asking without questioning it, knowing, this is why. Like, I learned this. I remember dealing with this and being in in that situation during that training, so I know what to expect.
100%. You landed the plane with that one. I'm glad you said that too, because I think that's an important part of learning about the responsibilities and the perspective of our law enforcement in our community. Like, they make a difference. We need to have that relationship, and it's best to have it early as well. So like you said, learning their role, why they ask certain questions, why they do certain things, and the fact that, like you said, you're making split decisions and in a lot of cases, life or death decisions as well. So I love that we're giving those students that opportunity to see that.
Yeah, I hope that they see that they see like, hey, these are not easy things to do. We're expecting this out of them, but they're human just like we are. And we're seeing how that's easy, a hard thing to do.
Precisely. Now, we just talked about a bunch of different things that we want the students to take away from it, but I mean, is that really the primary goal? Explain what the primary goal of this youth academy is. Are we trying to get them to go into law enforcement? What is it exactly?
Not necessarily. You don't have to have an interest in being a police officer or being in law enforcement in any way. This really is just an overview so that you get an understanding of what the police do. And like I said, it's creating leadership skills. So you don't need that just in police work. You need that in anything you're going to do in life, as well as teamwork, just bringing people together, being able to work together in a group to solve something, to figure something out.
There you go. Well said. And with me right here live on the Splash, by the way, from the West Bloomfield Police Department, Community Relations Officer Zena Daly. Just talking about this new police youth academy that's happening with West Bloomfield and other partnering communities as well. Let's talk about the actual program, going into some things that's going to happen. What kinds of scenario-based training will some of these students engage in?
So they're going to be able to do traffic stops. And this is not just where they're going to be watching the officers teach them and just show them. We will teach them, and then they'll be able to participate and be the police officers and actually do the work. So that's, from what I understand, talking to the other officers and the other agencies that have done this, that's probably their favorite part.
Okay.
And then they'll do a driving simulator. There will be a portion where they get to put on drunk goggles, and that will give them an understanding of what you're seeing, how distorted things are when you're intoxicated. So they get a better understanding of that. We'll do crime scene investigations, and again, that's not just we're going to show you and you just get to watch us, but they'll get to then actually do what they're learning and what they're being taught. So that's a lot of fun. We'll have a drone operators will be there. They get to experience that and see what that looks like, what we're looking for. A canine unit, which is also everyone's favorite, because who doesn't love a good dog? The fire department, the Bloomfield Township Fire Department, will have someone there teaching CPR. So they'll be able to have that under their belt, which is great for anyone at any point. Defensive tactics, again, weapon safety, and that'll include them being in the range where they'll have not actual live rounds, but they'll be able to hold it'll be sim rounds, so they're not going to hurt anybody. And you'll have a lot of instructors there with them, guiding them, teaching them about gun safety, even though these are not live rounds.
Oh my goodness, that was a mouthful.
It's going to be an experience. It's going
Oh.
to be an experience. They're going to have a lot to do. It's going to be a good time. There's going to be a graduation ceremony where parents get to come and, kind of see everything that's happened. So it'll be great.
It goes back to my original question. Why wasn't this around when I was a kid? I literally
know.
wanted to be a police officer when I was a kid. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's not go down there. It sounds very exciting.
Hey, you still can be.
There you go. Good point. It sounds very exciting, very engaging, and I love
It is,
that.
yep.
So I don't want to hold you up too much longer, Officer Daly. Two things I want to get from you before we leave. Lastly, the details of the program, how people can join if they are interested or want to find more, and why they should join.
You want to join this because it's going to be a great experience for your student, for your child. So please push this out to them. Let them, we have a Facebook page that has the flyer on there. Have them read that, take a look at it. There is a QR code on there, and that's where you're going to click on or use your phone to get to that link, and there will be an application there. Please fill that out and submit that, and then we will do interviews to find if we're hoping for 25 kids, and I'm thinking we're going to have a lot more applications than 25, so there will be a background process and an interview process.
Okay, well said. I'm looking forward to hopefully Civic Center TV can stop by and do some recording and just showcase that as well. Oh yeah. Oh, we're going to work that out.
Let me add this as well. This is actually going to be, most of this will be taking place at the Bloomfield Township Training Center in Bloomfield Township.
Okay.
So right behind their police department.
Perfect. We will be speaking about that very soon, Officer Daly, but we appreciate you once again from the West Bloomfield Police Department, Community Relations Officer, Officer Daly. We appreciate you again.
Thank you.
Yes, great program, great information. If you want to keep up with the West Bloomfield Police Department, follow them on Facebook at West Bloomfield PD for more information. Summer Discovery is free and expanding in 2025 to over 180 sites across Wayne, Macomb, and right here in Oakland County, including West Bloomfield, serving more than 30,000 students entering 1st through 9th grade. Here's more on that program.
So IV therapy and hydration.
Glad to have you with us. Really interested in getting into this topic. Now, how has the Ballmer Group worked to ensure West Bloomfield families are aware of and able to access summer discovery resources?
So we've worked with our partners United Way and Building Impact over the past several weeks in just making sure that parents and families really throughout Southeast Michigan are made aware of this wonderful opportunity. And we've been doing interviews. We've had articles in local newspapers. We've been promoting our website, which is www.summerdiscoverymi.org. And we've also been working with the various partners that are working with us in Summer Discovery. So all of our local schools that are partners in the program, community-based organization, our nonprofits, churches. We've just been working with the coalition of organizations to really help us spread the news and make sure that families know that this opportunity is available.
Awesome. And that's great that you're doing so much to make sure that this message gets out there and as many people know about it as possible. And you just touched on this a little bit, but just how important are these community partnerships like those with local schools or youth groups, and how do they play in making this program really successful in Oakland County?
Sure. Our local partners are really critical, and they're like the sauce that makes everything pretty much come together. We want to make sure that we get to families and students that are most in need of this type of summer program. I'll just say in Southeast Michigan, the reason why it is so critical is because many students in Southeast Michigan, they don't really have the opportunity for learning and enrichment activities during the summer. So working with community-based partners, community-based organizations, and working with our local schools, we're able to really get to the students and families that really need this opportunity the most. They're the boots on the grounds. They're the trusted advisors. They're the ones that knows that knows these families, that know the students, and where families really feel comfortable to be able to say, you know what, I trust that this program would be a fit for my family or for my student.
That's right, and it's important that everyone knows about this and knows what goes into making stuff like this possible. And I don't know if you've seen if there's any specific outcomes or success stories from students in West Bloomfield that come to mind, but are there any from people who've participated in the Summer Discovery Program last year?
Yeah, I can just say just in Oakland County in general and just throughout the entire Southeast Michigan region, we learned that over 88% of families felt that Summer Discovery prepared their child for the upcoming school year. We also learned that over 80% of families saw academic growth, and 61% of families reported that their child would have stayed home if Summer Discovery had not been an option.
Oh, wow.
And so right. So this is an opportunity. I mean, parents absolutely love the program. Teachers love it. Schools were able to increase their summer programming enrollment as a result of the program. Teachers received higher pay over the summer for teaching in the summer program. And so there's just some really great, magnificent benefits to teachers, to parents, to students, and just to overall our school system, our education system.
Wow, sounds like there's a lot of benefits that extend beyond just the students participating in this class. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, we have Renina Shelby-Crooms of the Balmer Group talking about summer discovery programs that are making their way all across Wayne, Macomb, and Oakland counties, including right here in West Bloomfield. Now, how does Summer Discovery address learning gaps for students in more affluent but still academically diverse communities like West Bloomfield?
Sure. Let me just say this. The state of Michigan overall ranks in the bottom 10 states for academic achievement, especially when it comes to reading and math. So if we're talking about whether it's affluent students, whether it's students in urban communities, all of Michigan students in our state, we're facing significant challenges when it comes to reading and math scores. So what Summer Discovery does, it comes in, we provide 4 hours for over 5 weeks. We provide 4 hours of reading and math. And so it allows students to be able to fill those learning gaps, and it creates opportunities for them to be able to learn. Whereas in the classroom during the school year, when there is a certain pace, the teacher may not have time to go back and sit with the student to go over things that they may not have learned in previous months. And so this is an opportunity to definitely fill those gaps for students in Oakland County, in Wayne County, in Macomb County by focusing on those math and learning skills.
That's right. Very, very crucial to fill in those gaps and to make sure all students are on the right track. Now, we were talking about a little bit earlier the benefits for some of the parents, but what advice would you give to local parents or guardians who may be a little unsure if a full-day academic summer program is the right fit for their child?
Sure. Go to the website, www.summerdiscoverymi.org. Find the location that is nearest to your community. And there are several sites in your local community. Find the one that you would be most comfortable with, or even if you don't know, reach out. Ask questions. The providers are there to help you. You can also reach out to United Way, and they can provide someone that can answer questions. But my advice to parents is reach out, go to the website, find out what opportunities, what sites are available in your local community, and reach out to those sites with your questions.
All great ways to stay informed. And Renina, what ways can other West Bloomfield residents, maybe educators or volunteers, get involved in supporting or enhancing the Summer Discovery experience?
I would say go to the website. There are opportunities where teachers are being hired for some of the community-based organizations that are site providers for the program. Everything is on the website. Reach out to those site providers, get connected with those site providers, and you can really just kind of take it from there. The website will lead you to the site providers. I'm sure there are plenty of volunteer opportunities with those different sites. And so I really and strongly encourage, whether you are a parent, a teacher, a community volunteer, individual who just loves to volunteer in your community and want to give back, go to the website where you can get more information.
You heard it. Go to the website to get all the information you need. Renina, last question before we let you go. Looking ahead, how do you envision programs like Summer Discovery evolving to meet the growing needs of students and families in suburban areas like Greater West Bloomfield?
Sure. I would just say for Bomber Group, we will continue to build on, we'll just continue to do what we're already doing, and that is making programming available to students and families that need it the most. And so we'll continue to do what we are doing through Summer Discovery Program, also by supporting our nonprofit organizations that are also doing this work throughout the school year. Summer Discovery is just summer, but there are many organizations that also provide similar support to students throughout the school year. And so as a philanthropic partner, we will continue to support our nonprofit organizations in our region and just really continue to build upon the work that we're doing with Summer Discovery.
A thoughtful and meaningful goal. Can't wait to see what's to come of it. Renina, thank you so much for joining us this morning here on The Splash Live.
Thank you for having me.
Another great opportunity for local kids to avoid their summer slump and stay engaged. Go directly to their website for more, UnitedWaySEM.org for more. You can keep up with Civic Center TV on all digital platforms, Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. We're also on YouTube, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, at Civic Center TV, and of course our website, CivicCenterTV.com. I've been your host, Kevin McIntosh. We are live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.